Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. First and foremost, fear, respect, praise, glory, let it all be to the Almighty Allah, and peace and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a Muslim man, I have to first make a submit on that, and even to salute you or to greet you in a special greeting of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which translates as peace and blessings of God be upon all of you. Indeed, let it be upon you wherever you are viewing and watching from. It's me again, your host Makubuya Akim Ali, on the order paper. This is the platform that I have really put up to create awareness, to create political awareness, to give a chance and opportunity for those who want to add value, for those who want to air out their views and mind, their opinions, their personal opinions, without restrictions on our political and social and economical affairs of this country. If you're out there and you really want to air out your views, you really want your opinion to be heard, this is the platform for you that I have really put up. It is political, social, and economical. Any views that you have, any personal opinions which you have, let it be social. When I mean social, when I say social, I mean matters that are affairs that are social. They can be religious, health affairs, culture, entertainment. Those are social matters. So they are in that umbrella of social. And political, automatically politics. Those who are sidelining the government, those who are opposing, those who are objectives. So this is a platform for you that I have really put up. So in case when you are out there and you want to air out your views, don't fear to reach out to me. Today, what we have on the order paper is a question which says, what we have on our order paper is a question which says, what and who will determine the fate of the retired Dr. Dr Besigye? It is a question that has been asked, and indeed it is so valid in a way that up to now we don't know of yet what and who will determine the fate of Dr Besigye. Is it the court martial? Is it the civil court? Is it Mr Museveni himself? You see, the case of Dr. Besigye, it is too controversial and complicated in nature. Very controversial and complicated in nature. That is it a matter of politics, or is it a matter of violating law? Is Dr. Besigye being charged of violating laws? Is he being charged of committing some certain crimes that they have not really told to us of yet? We don't know why. What is it exactly? So in that perspective is where our question lies from. That what and who will determine the fate of the retired Dr. Besigye? Is it court martial? Is it the civil court? Or is it Mr. Museveni himself? Remember, Besigye was being abducted in Kenya, Nairobi, on crimes which are not really straightforward crimes that they have told to the public of why he was being abducted in Kenya. Remember, he was being abducted in Kenya, brought back here to Uganda. We had the news that he's being abducted in Kenya. He was brought to Uganda, but of late we haven't get to know what place where he's being detained. The next time to see Besigye, he was being brought into the courts of law. Into the court martial that is at Machinde. So from there, his lawyers, led by Martha Kaluha and Aaron Kiza and others, they started to give in their petition. They started to give in their submissions about their client arrest or the trial of him in the court martial. And from there, the Supreme Court before even going to the Supreme Court, we saw a lot of drama in the court between the lawyer or the pleader for the detainee, that is Dr. Dr Besigye, and his comrade Haji Obedi Rutale. His lawyer Aaron Kiza was being sentenced to prison. And the matter, it was of contempt of court. Why he was being sentenced to what? To prison. So from there, that's when the Supreme Court came out and made a ruling that no any civilian must be tried in the court martial. No any civilian must be tried in the court martial. And of that ruling, it has caused a lot of the Ula Balus, the Igi Aga, the controversial reactions and the controversial statements. Many are saying that the ruling doesn't take away the crimes that Besigye committed, and indeed it doesn't. But the judgment of the Supreme Court says that no any civilian must be tried in the courts of law. And the reaction of the president of this country is that Besigye must be tried in the courts of law. Logically, that is his reaction. That is his reaction, because from the day when the Supreme Court made such a judgment, his reaction was negative toward the Supreme Court. And he wants to challenge the judgment by amending the UPDF Act. And he has called his NRM MPs in Parliament to tell them on how he wants to amend, on how he wants them to amend the Constitution or the Act of the UPDF that constitutes this commercial court. So that's why I had to ask, will it be what will determine the fate of Besigye? Because today the president has persisted in order to make sure that the court martial is in position to hear and try Dr. Dr Besigye over his case. So is it the fate now? Is the court martial gonna be the tool that is being used to determine the fate of Besigye? Now, is Mr. Museveni the one who will determine the fate of Besigye? Because even the recent letter that was being wrote by the president, you see his reaction, and you can tell his mind in his letter that he wrote. For him, he's not happy. He's not happy with the judgment of the Supreme Court. He's not happy at all. He's not happy. But in this case, what I'm seeing, that has caused a lot of controversial reaction. Many we have failed not to understand the nature of the case. Is the nature of the case political? Is the nature of the case contempt of the law? What is the nature of the case? The only way how you can solve a problem is getting to know is getting to know the nature of the problem, is addressing the real issue, is addressing the real matter. In all of this, there is politics that is being played on the side of the opposition and even on the side of the government. In all of what is happening, very many violations of the law and very many violations or very many contempt of the law have been made on both sides, the government and even to the opposition. One, for the side of the politics, Besigye is benefiting from this. Besigye is benefiting from this. And if it goes on like this, remember politics is perception. Now the narrative and the perception towards Dr. Besigye in the public is different. The government is accusing him of heavy crimes that they are saying, quoting some of the officials in the government quoting the spokesperson of the army, that is Major General Felix Kraije, what is he saying? That Besigye was planning something terrible. And I heard yesterday on a political show called The Frontline, I heard Mr. Andrew Mwenda saying that Besigye, he was planning to murder or to assassinate the president of this country, that is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. These are the charges that they are accusing him. Now, yes, I don't want to say that Besigye must be set free when he has cases to answer. No. But Besigye is benefiting from this because public have failed. The people of Uganda, or Ugandans, they have not really believed that what Besigye is being accused of did what they are accusing of him. The public, you see, when government loses trust, everything that it does, it becomes a referendum. When government loses public trust, any policy or anything that it does, it also wins a public opinion of a referendum. In this case, government might have received intelligence and information of the actions of Dr. Besigye, what he's planning to do towards the president and towards the country. Now they are telling it to us, but the perception reception in the people of Uganda, it is totally contrary believed on what they are saying. For them, they are not believing what the government and the security that they are telling to us. Why? Because the government has lost public trust. So, on a side of politics, or at the side of the politics, Besigye is benefiting from this. Remember, now Besigye has got the narrative. He has won the narrative. He has won the sympathy. He has won now the love within the people of Uganda, and even is now a factor to the opposition. You see, now you see the leading party in the opposition now, that is NUP, and its party president, and all the MPs that are under NUP. Way back, they have been playing a contempt card on Besigye's actions. That was politics. That is was being played. I was very okay and fine with it. Now, Besigye is winning politics in this one. Today, any politician who wants to build a political social capital, you must sideline with Besigye. You must put a hashtag of Free Dr. Besigye. You must show your face, or you must appear every time when Besigye is being brought to court. You must make a reaction. It means now Besigye is holding the opposition. He has the opposition. He has the politics. Now, that's why I'm saying it is too controversial in nature. Is it a case of politics, or is it a case of the law? You see, the judges, for the years I have followed their ruling and their judgments on political players, they are always controversial because they fail to understand the nature before they make their judgment. You can't make a judgment judging someone on a political case, and you want to use law to prevail over a political matter. It cannot work. It will only cause controversy. Now, they fail to understand that. That's why you're seeing every time when Besigye is being accused of anything, he wins it. Because all the judgments that they make, on all the arguments they make, the arguments of the law, yet Besigye plays a very confiscated game when he's being accused. He plays as a victim, even if when he has really committed crimes. Remember way back, basically he once sold himself as a president. Remember, and he was being tried to be prison, and the way how the case ended, and even other cases how they have ended. Basically always prays as a victim, and in this he's winning the thing, he's winning the perception. He has prayed now as a victim. I'm not saying that basically committed what they are accusing of him, because I don't have evidence, yes, but he's playing as a victim. Let it be true, let it be not be true. He's playing as a victim. He has won public sympathy. That's why even the president had to say that, in his letter, that Besigye is trying to blackmail, is trying to place sympathetic card to Uganda and even to Ugandans. So Besigye, in that regard, as far as politics is concerned, he has won and the government will have lost. Now, it is now a matter of the law. Now it is now a matter of the law, and if it is a matter of the law, you must really comply with the ruling of the Supreme Court. Government must comply. Government must comply to the ruling of the Supreme Court. They must produce Besigye to civil courts, not court martial. Now for them, they don't want to do so. President Museveni doesn't want to do so because he understands the dynamics of the civil courts. Though he is the fountain of honor, he is the one that appoints the Chief Justice, the principal judges. So he has a lot of say and influence over their judgment. Yes, he has a lot of influence and say over the judgments that are being made by these judges that he appoints. The principal judge, the Chief Justice. But for him, if he has to let Besigye to be in those courts, because he has it in mind that even though he's the one who appointed them and he has influence, but he might not influence that much. They might be bold and stand on their ground and say, no, Mr. President, this is a matter of the law. This is a matter of the constitution. This is a matter where we have to be independent as an arm of the government. That is what our judicial system. It can be independent, and it might not work in full favor with Mr. Museveni. That's why Mr. Museveni is persisting basically to be being brought in the courts, in the court martial. Remember, in the court martial, the judges that are listening to these are army serving man. One, they are not well advanced with the law. They are not lawyers. They only take orders and commands from their supreme leaders, from the CDF, from the commander-in-chief. And even remember, in that UPDF Act that constitutes the court martial, there is it says that when these judges who are appointed to act as judges in the court martial, when they reach somewhere and now they are so puzzled and they are in dilemma, they can make consultations. They must make consultations or to seek for advice from the commander-in-chief. And the commander-in-chief is who? Is Mr. Museveni. So it means he has full authority and full influence. Full authority and full influence to influence for the fate of Kano Besigye. So to me, the question of who and what will determine the fate of Kano Besigye, is it the court martial, civil courts, or Mr. Museveni? To me, it is Mr. Museveni with the court martial. It is not civil courts, because all the arguments, the legal submission arguments that are being made by prominent lawyers, prominent people, they have not helped that much, and they're not going to help. Now for them, all what they have gained in this is people, they have seen them that, yeah, those people, they are so well advanced with the law, they know the constitution, they are such intellectual, they are such knowledgeable, they have knowledge and wisdom. You see, that's what they have gained. And what Besigye has gained, political social capital today. Any politician, there is no any way how you can survive today where you have not talked about Besigye. Second, Besigye has still won his case, has brought his matter has brought the Supreme Court to make a judgment that even is going to help other political prisoners that were being arrested, that were being detained, that were being tried in the courts, that have been tried in the court martial. The judgment of the Supreme Court says they must not be tried in the court martial. So in that case, Besigye has won. Politics, on the side of politics and on the nature of politics, Mr. Besigye has won it. Now on the side of the law, still Besigye, I can say, is winning, because the government has not yet produced evidence. People are saying, if you don't have full evidence to quantify Besigye, then let him free, release him. If you are having evidence to quantify him, why do you fear to be tried or charged in these civil courts? Why do you want to try him in the court martial? Why? You see, so government must admit that it has lost the battle. It has lost the battle. Let them comply on what the court martial has said. Or if they have failed to do that, you know, this is what I want to advise to the government. If you have failed to solve a problem, then create a contradiction. Government, if you have failed to solve now a problem, if you have failed to solve a problem of Dr. Kizza Besigye, create a contradiction. Simple. Or produce him to the civil courts. If it is court martial where you want it, if it is court martial because that's what you want, then let it be. But let him have a fair trial. Let him have a fair trial. So, to me, that was it. What and who determine the fate of Dr. Kizza Besigye? The civil court? No, that factor is not there. It is no longer on what we are saying. The civil court will not. It is Mr. Museveni, the president of this country, and the court martial where he can influence much. Where he can influence and determine Besigye's fate. So, Mr. Museveni and the court martial will determine the fate of Dr. Kizza Besigye. But on a wide picture of politics, Museveni and his government, you have lost. What you are choosing, Dr. Kizza Besigye of, it may be true because you are government, you have intelligence and you receive vivid information. You might be very true. Besigye might have committed all those cases. He might have committed all those crimes that you want to accuse him of. But in public opinion, people, they have not believed you. The believability in Ugandans, it is not there. The believability of the cases that you want to accuse Besigye of him, let them be true, let them not be true. The believability, it is totally not there. People, they have not believed you. Know why? when government loses public trust, each and everything that they does, it wins a public opinion of a referendum. People, they cannot believe you. Government, you have lost credibility and believability. You might be true, but you have lost that. And basically, he has won over. One, the perception that he is a victim. He has won it. You see, when you want to win your enemy, always act as a victim. Even in matters, or even in circumstances that you have yourself created, act as a victim if you want to win over your enemy. Basically, he has won you over. And basically, he has won politics, that now in the opposition is now a factor. You cannot keep him aside. You need him today. For the case of NUP, and now it had also to be so visible, to be seen. Now it is the party in the opposition that is frontlining for the release, that is fighting so hard for the release of Dr. Besigye. Now Besigye is saying, now is setting the trend on where politics of the opposition where should go. Besigye has won that. For the matter of law, government, you can only win this when you act positively towards the Supreme Court judgment, and let it work. And on the side of the law, as far as Besigye's case is concerned, still is winning, because government up to now they have not complied. So that was it for today. On the order paper, we'll come with very more of the same. We are gonna be following up what is happening